Hello, and welcome to an episode of Todd Talk. Some Todd Talks people listen. Hopefully. Did my eye spin? Did I get a logo on my eye? No? Darn, I'll add that in post. Anyway, like I do post anymore. I used to do pre-production and post-production, but yeah, that kind of ended. Oh well. Computer problems, After Effects happen. Anyway, today we are talking about the death battle that just happened between Darth Vader and Obito. Don't know if that sounds like Obito. I've only heard him like a few times. Anyway, and ladies and gentlemen, yes, I lost, as did many of you. Yes, in the sequel fight of Obi-Wan versus Kakashi, Obito beat Darth Vader. Oops. Hey, you can't win them all. And hey, also the G1 blog didn't get this one right, even though they admitted that their volunteers didn't know that much about Obito, so that probably played against both them and a lot of us. So yeah, so that means this season I am 3-2, which I still think is better than I was last season. I can't recall. But yeah, this is an interesting one to talk about because you'd think. Okay, like I know a lot of people were saying that they were just doing this sequel fight because it was a highly requested matchup, and it was. And even Ben admitted recently on the Death Battle cast that this is one that they've had on their calendars forever, and they're probably just more fueled by it thanks to Obi-Wan Kakashi and how well that one did. But this is also, as I pointed out, a difference of focus and personalities. Because before it was, the wise warrior mentors versus this, which is the fallen heroes who have embraced their anger and insanity to become even more powerful. So there was a lot of new factors here that the G1 forum, and so many others, again, many of my commenters, I think only one person picked Obito, so, I'm watching you. And I've documented who said Vader, so don't try and cop out and say, oh, I didn't pick Vader. Yes, you did. You all picked Vader. So it's curious because this is kind of a trap we fall into, and I fell into it too. I mean, I totally picked Vader, even though I did have reservations. Like a lot of people were saying this was a stomp. It was not a stomp. Obviously it wasn't a stomp, but I didn't feel it was a stomp even before the fight because of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. If it wasn't for the Ten Tails, he would have lost. I think everyone can admit that. If it wasn't for Ten Tails, he would have lost. And as I noted in my preview, one of the problems was the truth-seeking orbs, because those can erase all matter. And Kamui technically would be a problem. I didn't like their explanation of he probably would have gotten Kanu because he was so close. That's debatable. But the point here is that because of Obito's abilities with the Ten Tails, as Ten Tails Jinchuriki and everything that came with that, I think some of us just underestimated what he had. Like, for example, I didn't think they would give him the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Again, for the record, I am now 0-2 when it comes to guys being tied to that bloody thing. All right, I didn't pick Madara, I picked Aizen, and I didn't pick Obito, and both of them had the Infinite Tsukuyomi at their beck and call, and I'm like, suck. So, and to be clear, and I'll get to this in the battle, but I fully expected Vader to kick out. That's how much I anticipated Vader to break out. But because the setup was perfect, he's with Padme, and then it was I release you from your hell, and I would have just loved Vader to go, one cannot escape a hell of their own making, and then just busts out, and he kills him. But oh, to dream. So there was a lot going on here. I didn't expect the Tsukuyomi to be used. I guess I underestimated the Ten Tails itself. I knew about the Tailed Beast bomb, but when they flashed that one number of the septillion tons of TNT, and then they showed another one with 24 zeros, I was like, wait a minute. So I paused it with 13 and 12. I'm like, oh, I got a bad feeling about this. And then, I didn't talk about speed that much, but, Vader was light speed. I knew Naruto characters could get light speed, so I figured that would be kind of even out. So I think what this really boiled down to is that we kind of just almost expected a repeat performance, for lack of a better term, when we should have thought about, just how different these two are. Like, I really felt, because of what we saw with Obi-Wan Kakashi, for Vader to pick out the Infinite Tsukuyomi. But as they noted in both the talk and in the tabs, Vader isn't as good as dealing with mental illusions as Obi-Wan was. Like, Obi-Wan is the definition of, mind your thoughts, they betray you. Vader's kind of fine with it. Like, he's dealt with that kind of temptation before. He's enjoyed it to an extent. Like, I remember after they said that, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he did do that, because there was a comic where he had a talk with like the ghost of Padme or whatever, and it got weird, but he embraced it because he's like, maybe I can just enjoy this for a little bit and then go back to being Darth Vader. So I forgot about that until after the fight. So this is one to live and learn. I will say that I don't mean this to give myself an excuse, but I did have a bad feeling after the preview. Why did I have a bad feeling? Because the preview was absolutely dominated by Vader. Like, it wasn't even close. It was Vader 100%. Like, all the way to the end. Like, the last shot was him crushing the mask, which I like the fake out with Padme. That was a great shot. But the preview was dominated by Vader. I'm like, they're showing a lot of Vader here. Like, that used to be one of their tells that I could think about. Was like, if someone is dominating the fight early on, they usually either lose or something else weird happens, or like the other person pulls off right at the end. And this is another case where I'm like, okay, that's not. I don't like the look of that. But I was like, maybe they're just getting Obito revved up and blah blah blah. So, oh well. As for the fight, it was good. It definitely, like I said, in the early bits, it really played up Vader's strengths. And even though Obito obviously went 10 tails eventually, and I was surprised that they showed, the 10-tailed beast, the Tsukuyomi, the World Tree. They went incredibly detailed, and props to Del Artemis for making it so dope. I think my biggest surprise was how much they stripped down Vader Anakin, because they're like, hey, we're going to show his robotic leg. Hey, we're going to break off his mask. Hey, we're going to show him as Anakin with Padme, of all people. And, that was a pretty interesting dynamic. I'm glad they did that, because that's different from how they handled, obviously, Obi-Wan Kakashi. Because that was another thing. It's like, this is going to be compared to Obi-Wan Kakashi no matter what happens. Which one do I feel was better? I'm going to have to go Obi-Wan Kakashi. I felt it just had that more intensity, which is weird because these guys are aggressive villains. But I felt it had that better level of intensity, for lack of a better term, and a better fight choreography, I guess. But again, I'll be watching. This was definitely a highlight. Skyrim, Dark Souls is still better than the 3D department, but this is easily one of the better episodes, 5 episodes in. This is definitely top 3. Yeah, I go top 3 right now. This is easily one of the top 3 episodes, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I lost 3-2, but hey, I'm still in the win column, so I'll take it. This is where, oh boy, we gotta have fun next time, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had a 4-episode gap now. Four episodes, and now it is time for another DC versus Marvel matchup. It is Phoenix versus Raven. Oh boy. And my question here, and I know somebody's like, wait a minute, isn't the Phoenix almost unstoppable? Well, no, not really. And this is also about the avatars, and Raven being the empath is, this is going to get ugly. If you thought there was fan fervor before, this is going to be bad. In the good way, because this is ooh, they're doing this. But yeah, next time is Phoenix Jean Grey versus Raven of the Teen Titans. And this is gonna be interesting. So, with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of Vader versus Obito? Do you understand why Vader lost? Are you willing to admit that you failed? Because many of you picked Vader. And what do you think about Vader or Phoenix versus Raven next time? Let me know in the comments below. So, I thank you for watching. It's been as far. I know you were listening, and I will see you around.